What's up? What's up? It's Mosley Show. 1 o'clock. It's holiday. The holidays, it's kicked in. I'm in a daze as we speak. We'll have a we'll have a major gambling expert that kind of help us with some of the NFL games, but mainly the college football playoff. And this guy's like really good. He's a SEC expert out of Birmingham, and Lance Taylor's his name. He's a funny guy. He'll be on with us at 2:15 today to break down some of these games and perhaps provide us with the picks we might need. In fact, I was just watching his Bama and bourbon show that he does. And of course, it's sponsored by all these different bourbons. And I think there's some place in Birmingham that supplies all this. And they were taping one show, the most recent show, because the guy he does it with had to get out to Oklahoma for tonight's game. They were having to tape it at like 8 in the morning, and they were having bourbon at 8. Seems a little early. And I just want to go ahead and be honest with you guys. This coffee I'm drinking right now contains no bourbon. But I mean, around Christmas time, if you want to spike your drink with something around the old tree, I think I think that's something you could do. I don't really advocate for that, but man, I just have good, cheap Keurig coffee. I get the just order like a big old 48 pack from Target and do the Target pickup. I mean, they make it now where you don't ever really have to traipse into that grocery store again if you don't want to. But I do have a local Sprouts that I kind of like. I kind of like the people in there. I kind of like knowing where everything is. And so I'll stroll in there and grab some items at times. Now, for my snack needs this time of year, Trader Joe's really provides a higher level of snack and sweets and chips and the dips. That's a place you want to check out for. And Scotty and the rest of our rogue crew, most of them are in Central Texas. Pete could be moving this direction. I don't know. I mean, he's fallen in love, and he appears to be getting married soon to a Dallasite, to a Metroplex person. So that's going to change his life. And Pete, from what I can tell, will move wherever this young woman asked him to move. It's just like if she said, you know what, we want to go to Idaho, Pete would go, okay, I'm going to do all my stuff from Idaho now, and I'll fly in and out of Pocatello. Is that even a place? Pocatello, something. I feel like that's some kind of place in Idaho. But anyway, good to be with you today. Good to have Scotty as always. Lizzie, I hope she's been in and out lately, and but she's a great member of the Rogue family. She's someone who's been known to attend one of those Rogue Christmas parties Mosley was not made aware about. And there's a lot of controversy right now up and down the Rogue Media Network about like, why was Mosley not tipped off on the party? Was he purposely kept at arm's length? Did they not want him to show up because they thought he would kind of try to take over and like talk and maybe try to narrate the white elephant gift exchange? I think all those things are on the table as possible things. We want to welcome everybody in too. Scotty has gotten us on the premium Twitter, which is why I'm back to having a blue check mark. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it. But because we're on this level, this high level of engagement, we now kind of have that going on. So it's just something we deal with. The blue check mark has returned to my life. And that brings in all kinds of folks that want to, hear what I have to say. And Scotty has to say about the Cowboys, about the Baylor Bears recently. We've had a lot going on with Baylor. I'll continue to sound off on all of that. We've had another Baylor player go in the portal. I'm not going to overdo it on these things. It's I don't like seeing anybody go. I don't think anything, any of these things are just like, oh my gosh, I think once that portal opens, the old Bears are going to have a lot of people coming in. Now, I'm not going to get mad about the players leaving. nor am I going to overreact and act like everybody they bring in the portal is great. I hope people like them. I hope they get ranked high in the portal rankings. That's all great. But I'm not going to overdo it anyway, because I got sucked in last year to like, oh, the guy from Texas A&M, whatever, big number 88 or something. Look how big he is. Or the other kid that came in, like these nose tackles that they brought in that did absolutely nothing. Okay, these young men, I don't even know if they're in our Fair County anymore. They may have returned to wherever they came from. One was from A&M. I can't remember where the other was from. Got a couple of players from Tulane, had some other players. Oh, I know. They had some player that I kind of liked a couple of years ago. Who was that one big kid? Linus Noel or something. Now, he came from like Texas Southern or somewhere like that. I like when you kind of get down in the weeds and you go get somebody from the SWAC or somebody like that. I'm actually okay with that. But the Bears last year were just whiffing on. And again, I say that, and I know a lot of the people in the Baylor personnel department and a lot of the assistant coaches watch this show, and they probably get mad at me. Why would you say we whiffed? Well, because you did. That doesn't mean you did. I also bring it up when you hit on players, and I'm hoping Joe Klanderman hits on some of these Kansas State players as they start to come in. I noticed Scotty, and I meant to think about having him on. We'll have him on soon. But Grayson had a whole thing, like he put a plan together for how Baylor needs to fix the D-line, like what their plan for the portal. Hey, I'm open to that. I want to see that plan. I'm very excited about a plan that would help the Bears in the portal. All right. And, man, guys, Scotty, we're now less than 6 hours away from kickoff. Alabama and Oklahoma. I keep having to remind myself, it's hard to believe that we get this level of a Friday night game, like 8 versus 9. The 3-loss Alabama team that got in there because they beat Georgia at Georgia, and they did not have it held against them that they had a loss to a team that ended up being horrible, a Florida State team to open the season. I mean, Alabama at OU tonight. An Alabama team, like we kind of get it in our minds sometimes that Alabama's going to run the ball, and they're going to stop the run, and they're going to do all. That's not what they do. They don't run the ball very effectively at all. In fact, Georgia, I think, held them to less than 0 yards. It was bad. The last time Alabama actually ran the ball okay might have been against this OU team. Alabama had over 400 yards total offense, which is a lot for that team. And they got beat by OU in Tuscaloosa 23-21 because OU had punt returns. They blocked a field goal. They had an 89-yard pick six return. That guy's a good DB, by the way, for OU. I like that guy. And by the way, OU tonight, let's keep our focus on it. Scotty, and we can do at about 1:30, we'll jump into Campus Confidential. Scotty's got a lot. We got quarterbacks. We got quarterback rankings. Scotty, I mean, like I told everybody to not get your hopes up for DJ Lagway, but now I'm seeing like On3 and others ranking Lagway because all these guys keep going in the portal. And now Josh Hoover's in the portal, as Scotty will talk about in Campus Confidential, the TCU quarterback. Guy's been great for TCU. He's put up big numbers. Where could we possibly see him come out? I know Pete Souza was saying earlier today, maybe he'll slide into Waco. Who knows? But I thought it was interesting because as great a recruit and as great an athlete and just the look of him is just like, if you had DJ Lagway as your quarterback, you'd be like, look at our guy. Like our guy is just better than your guy because of just look at him. He's 6'4", I mean, just everything about him, about 2. He's going to try to play this year. I think he got up a little too heavy. I think he's going to slim down. I talked to his dad the other day. He's going to try to play this year at about 220 or 225. And I think that's good. I think he can at times put on a little too much weight. I think that'll help him move. Again, there's a lot to be excited about with DJ Lagway. But what surprised me, the reason I'm bringing it up at the start of the show today, is Scotty, of all these really good quarterbacks going in there, they've got him ranked 6th or 7th right now. I mean, think about that. DJ Lagway, that first day when we found out he was going to the portal, it was kind of like, okay, Levitt 1, probably like Lagway 2. And then as all these quarterbacks have come in to the portal, Pribula just went in the other day from Missouri, who used to be at Penn State. And Scotty had the story that now, of course, Penn State and with Matt Campbell, and then Virginia Tech with the old Penn State coach, they're kind of wanting Pribula, come in here, Pribula. That has pushed DJ Lagway's ranking. Again, now these are just, I mean, they're not like, does the On3 know anything more than we know? Well, yeah, because they have like access to the portal. I mean, like, I can break news, but the one thing I don't understand is like where to click on and get like beat people on the portal news. And I'm not going to try. I don't want this to be a moment where I'm about to declare that I'm going to become a big portal guy, because I'm not. All right. I just can't at this point. I can't take something else on. And becoming a portal expert is not really what I want to do. I do think there are people like Zenitz at CBS. There are people like Pete Nakos at On3, Chris Hummer also at, where is he? Is he at On3 maybe, or anyway, wherever he is? I mean, these are good portal people to follow. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. Oh, I like that On3 guy, Hayes Fawcett. Maybe Fawcett. Faucett. I like these guys for their portal knowledge. And so what we do is we just log on, and it's like following, like some people, it's like how some people follow the stocks. We follow the portal. And so we decide, okay, who do we like? Do we like the Zenitz? Do we like Hayes Fawcett? Let's look at Hayes Fawcett, for instance. Let's go. When's the last time he broke some news on somebody entering the portal? Well, here we go. Auburn's edge rusher, Amaris Williams. Surely Baylor doesn't need an edge rusher. Oh, they do? Okay, cool. In his 2 seasons with the Auburn Tigers, 21 tackles and 2.5 sacks. Was ranked as a top 65 recruit in the 2024 class. I would have my interest in him as kind of like tepid, kind of like, But I mean, I probably would like my edge rushers to have more than 2.5 sacks in 2 seasons somewhere. Now, the folks are leaving Dion at an alarming rate in Colorado. Now, some of these people are pretty productive. You know, what was that thing, Scotty, that Joey told us? Production over what was his big phrase? I think I wrote that down the other day. Production over projection, I think it was. Let me see if I can find that. I liked that the other day. This is all my Clanderman notes. All right, Clandy man. We had such a fun time with Joe Clanderman the other day. Like I kind of want him to become like a weekly guest. If I can pull that off, I might do it. All right. Well, I'll find it. But I kind of like what he said about it. Now, I got my eye on these K-State. Anybody that leaves K-State right now, I think Baylor needs to have an eye on this. Colorado true freshman edge Alexander McPherson. 6'5", 250-pound edge, appeared in 10 games this season, 16 tackles, 6 quarterback hurries, 1 block punt, and a half sack, 3 years of eligibility. Yeah, I mean, I got to say, I'm kind of interested. He's got a little bit of a Bosa. I mean, not saying he's going to be any of the Bosa brothers, but he's got a little bit of a Bosa look to him. I'm just looking at him right now. The other portal guy came out of another Auburn player. I guess Golish is going in there, and he's, and they're telling people who to leave and whatever. I also thought this was interesting from Hayes Fawcett, guy I like to follow. Top 10 teams in the 2027 rival rankings. Now, we know not to put too much stock in this because all our Baylor people, including my man Scotty, we got excited about the 2026 class and then could not get that across the goal line. It was like they were going in, and then about a week before, they started, like, people were coming in, making plays on the ball, and there were some takeaways that happened, and Baylor lost 3 really good players, 5 in all, and they even lost a young man to Rice. Perhaps he's, just wanted academically inclined. The old Rice Owls. They do a good job over there at Rice. And I like some people thought, but by the way, when Baylor was looking for an AD, somebody was in my ear. You got to hire the Rice AD. You got to hire the Rice AD. And of course, I was focused on Doug McNamee. Doug McNamee was not returning my calls, which probably should have tipped me off that he indeed was going to be the guy. McNamee, just to update you, because seemingly Doug McNamee should have probably been on the show by now. But I kind of am understanding of what Baylor's doing with Doug. I think Doug is wanting to have a couple of really good stories to tell quickly and to hit a couple of initiatives. And I think that's happening as we speak. And if everything kind of goes as planned, Doug will be hopping on soon. And I think you guys will enjoy that. Doug's very straightforward. And fortunately, we've known each other for years. And so that'll be pretty good. A few of early thoughts, though, on the 2027 Rivals rankings as far as the high school recruiting. Oklahoma has a good chance to take over the number 1 spot after January. January, there's these moments in the year where while we're focused on the portal, there's all kinds of visits that are taking place. And so there's a flurry of activity that happen in these certain times of the year. January is one of them. Texas A&M is his early favorite to finish number 1 in that recruiting class. Texas Tech already has the number 1 quarterback and the number 1 defensive lineman committed for the 2027 class. All right. So as of now, in 2027 recruiting rankings, I just got these. Tech 1, Oklahoma 2, Ohio State 3, Texas A&M 4, Notre Dame 5. Nebraska, with Matt Rule, sitting there at number 6. And everything else is about what you'd expect. Alabama, Miami, Georgia, and then Michigan. Now, big, and again, some of this will spill over into Campus Confidential when we get to that here in a minute. Scotty, I wanted to throw one interesting thing that tonight's game could impact who gets this Michigan job. There is a thought that the Alabama people would be so mad at Kalen DeBoer, and that Kalen DeBoer already kind of has an attachment to the Midwest, to like the Michigan job looks kind of attractive to him. Not saying Alabama's going to fire him, because even as crazy as they are, I don't think they're going to fire a coach who got their team to the 12-team playoff. Would Ohio State do something like that? Absolutely. Do I think Alabama would? Only if it happened 2 years in a row where they lost in the first round of the CFP. I think they would think about trying to get rid of the coach. If Oklahoma wins tonight, I think there is a thought out there, and I think there's something to this, that Kalen DeBoer becomes like huge target, and that his interest level in the Michigan job would go way up, because the Alabama people would not be fighting for him at all, and they would be totally fine for him to go elsewhere. them to pay, whatever the buyout is. Obviously, Michigan would have to step in and cover that unless Kalen DeBoer was going to cover it. But I think Michigan would take care of it, and then everybody could go on their merry way, and then Alabama could go try to hire a football coach. Who would they go after? Would Lane Kiffin be in play? How could he not be? How could he not be? Because he's like the wedding. What was that? He likes to leave people at the altar. Whatever that Julia Roberts one was. She, not a wedding crasher, but she was like a wedding runner or wedding lead, whatever that show was. It was an okay. She and Richard Gere, and she kept always running away from all these weddings. I mean, you talk about some romantic comedies over the years. She really had a good run at that. But anyway, I think Kalen DeBoer, I think he's going to go to Michigan if they lose this game tonight. If they win and they continue on in the CFP, he's not going to pull a Kiffin and leave them in the middle of that. And I think winning would cement his status and where he is at Alabama, and he would at least coach one more year there. That's where we are in college football now. It's more like the NFL than ever. It's more like the NFL than the NFL. It's like a series of almost like 1 year type deals. And it's becoming so much like the NFL. We now have, and this is just a new thing, but we now have all these re-signings. Like if Baylor brings back Keaton, they may put up a deal with him, like signing his agents or somebody may put up a deal where he's like re-signing with the Bears or whatever. They are doing that. That is where we are in college football. They are making announcements and having like a big to-do when a kid re-signs with the team he's with. All right. In fact, one big one just happened today, and Scotty will have this. Scotty, I'm sorry, I'm trampling all over Campus Confidential, but that's okay. This is a huge day, and I've got a ton of material on this, on the Alabama game and the A&M Miami game. All right. The other two games we'll watch and we'll keep an eye on, but nobody thinks Tulane's going to upset Ole Miss, and nobody thinks James Madison's going to upset Oregon. All right. Those games are going to be played, and they're going to put them over there on like TNT or something for a reason. It's because they can at least recoup some of their money by sub-licensing those games out, and they know they were not going to be close, and so it's probably ends up being a smart move by ESPN / ABC to sub-license those games out, those TNT games, and try to make some of the money back that they've spent on trying to secure the CFP. Tonight's game will get a massive rating, cold weather all across the Midwest and all across the North, and people will stay in and want to watch some college football. And you say, Matt, it's not one of their teams. It's not one of the Big Ten. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's college football. People are kind of snowed in. Where we live, Waco and Dallas, we're staring at like 70-degree weather today. So it doesn't matter. But people will mostly stay in. And we're past the usual Friday night football. There will be state playoff games and all that kind of stuff. And that's state championship weekend has already happened, is already upon us. And so that stuff will happen throughout the weekend. In fact, some of those smaller teams, some of the, I think Hamilton was in it. I think I saw one of those 6-man teams. I love now that every team gets to play at AT&T Stadium, or, they pick the one venue and everybody gets to play there. That's the way it should be. It shouldn't be, one team's down here in Waco, some team's San Antonio, one team's in Dallas. You should do it all at one place, and I'm glad to see that happening. All right, with high school football. Again, Cowboys, I'll be out there to cover that at noon. Quinnen Williams was practicing yesterday, so that's looking good for him to play coming out of concussion protocol. And then Jerry Jones has not dismissed. He was asked this morning if, Trayvon Diggs doesn't play, if maybe he's played his last game with the Cowboys, and Jerry did not want to get into that. He was not ready to accept that. And again, the Cowboys have done some weird stuff with players. That whole injury and weirdness and whatever has been going on for weeks now with Trayvon Diggs. If he's going to play, he's got to play this week. All right. Or just let him go do whatever he does. Let him just go wander around the next 2 games. Nobody cares. Deron Bland, sadly, news coming out this morning that Deron Bland, who's tried to play through injury and at times has played pretty well, I must add. The foot has continued to give him problems, and so he's going to have foot surgery, and so they will be shutting him down for the rest of the season. That is Deron Bland, Cowboys cornerback. And so, again, if you thought things were going to get better in the secondary with Eberflus, but maybe with Eberflus going up to the box, maybe with him going up to the press box, perhaps that will inspire something and he'll see more from up there. Let me tell you, when they start making late season changes like that, we're going to send Eberflus up to the box. The next step is to send him out of the stadium, all right, for him to no longer be with this team. This is a last-ditched effort to see if they can get anything out of the man they call Flus. But the days of Flus are coming to an end. You are seeing the final days of one Matt Eberflus. Scotty, you and I sometimes like to share what kind of caps we're wearing. Today, a little bit different. This is the there's a landman / oil guy that I play a lot of tennis with, and he gets all these caps, and he's always handing me these caps. And I kind of like this one. Dallas Area Petroleum Landman or something. DAPL is what this is. And a lot of people think that I kind of, Billy Bob Thornton and I sound a little bit alike. And, I'm kind of the landman of this show. I don't know. I'm just making things up. But I like that. That show's good. And that's one of his best. He's a great actor. But, like, for him to inhabit, and he was good as Gary Gaines when he played Odessa Permian and the old Friday Night Lights from like 20 years ago. He was good in that. I mean, Billy Bob Thornton's looked the same now for literally like 25 years. He had the gray hair back then. He had that kind of hangdog look about him. He hasn't changed. He's still the same guy. But he's really good in Landman. If you haven't seen it, it's over on that Paramount Plus until it's not. And Paramount Plus will probably fumble the ball like they did with Yellowstone. And just like, hey, we're just going to give this to somebody else. Oh, good. Yeah. You finally had like the hottest show in the history of TV, and you're going to sublicense it. You're going to give it to somebody else. You're going to send it over to whoever, like Netflix or somebody or Hulu. I mean, really smart, guys. It's good. Well done. Well done. All right. Let's do some Campus Confidential. I want to remind you that at about 2:15 today, one of our really good friends who is excellent on college football betting will be joining us. All right. And he's going to have a lot of picks for us, and he'll shed light. He works in Birmingham, very close to the Bama program. So if you're looking to put a little something down tonight on Alabama and Oklahoma, this would be a good guy to tune in and listen to. That's my buddy Lance Taylor from another round, the next round YouTube show. It's a great show, by the way. In fact, we patterned some of what we're trying to do after the next round. They have done it, and it's become really one of the most popular shows in all of the South. And honestly, their show, I hate to say it, but it's much, much better than what Paul Feinbaum puts out. All right. It's the Mosley Show. We're continuing on. Let's do some Campus Confidential. Let's do it next.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform.
At your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. And when it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. With the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud.
Here's a tip. Never deposit someone else's money into your bank account. Scammers will send you money or overpay you and then ask you to refund a portion of the money back to them. This is a scam.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
It's the Wrap Up the Year sales event at Allen Samuels in Waco. Drive home a new Ram 1500 Lone Star with 0% for 72 months or 3.9 for 72 months. Plus 10% below MSRP and get 2,000 holiday select inventory cash. Need more power? Check out the selection of new Ram 2500s, all backed by our 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain warranty and no payments for 90 days. Hurry to Allen Samuels in Waco.
Come by. Let's be friends.
Bubble wasn't here. I don't know what people would be doing, like making PowerPoints or something. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. We deliver premier protection at affordable prices and express shipping. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
Better sleep, inspired by nature. Your back, hips, and shoulders will fall into perfect alignment in any position, meaning that you get deeper, more comfortable rest. Visit ecoterrabeds.com.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
Is your Mac running slow? Mac Booster 8 is your all-in-one solution to clean up 20 types of junk files. Get your Mac running like new again with Mac Booster 8. Visit macboost.net today.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
At Mapiful, we believe in celebrating your journey. Our unique personalized products are designed to boost your confidence. From custom home decor to meaningful gifts, we help you cherish the memories that make you who you are. Visit mapiful.com and start celebrating your story today.
Streamline event and appointment booking with Amelia's sleek, modern, and fully customizable booking forms. WPAmelia.com. That's WPAMELIA.com. Amelia. Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. NALGENE.com.
A house is a property, but we live in homes. Home sweet home. Homes where the heart is. We aim to deliver the best home buying and selling experience so you can spend less time real estating and more time living.
WhyPersonalLoans.com. Request a loan anytime. Our partners can offer loans up to $35,000 with varying rates and terms. Review your loan offer with no obligation and decide what works for you. Visit personalloans.com today.
This is what $500,000 in a duffel bag looks like. Actually not real. That's because it's actually prop money. It looks realistic from a distance, but up close you can see it says for motion picture purposes. Visit propmoney.com today to get your money seen or money shot right with Prop Money Inc.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. That's ULIKE.com. U-Like.
VivoSun's mission is to empower growers with stylish and effective products, making indoor growing accessible and enjoyable for everyone. Visit vivosun.com today and get started making growing plants and vegetables easy and automatic.
Oh, it is the Mosley Show. And I mean, trying to bring you the latest and greatest information going into tonight's game. In fact, one of our upcoming guests, they've been reporting on the weather there in Norman. They're saying it could be gusts of up to 30 miles per hour early in that game. Could it impact the game? It'll calm down. It's not. I mean, by 7:30, it's not going to be above 15 miles per hour. I think these quarterbacks will be able to function in this, but neither quarterback has functioned particularly well this season. And I think it's interesting because both these quarterbacks were Heisman hopefuls early in the season. And John Mateer and Ty Simpson, I do not believe either one of them finished in the top 10 of the Heisman rankings. In fact, the last couple of games, including the SEC title game, Ty Simpson's, his QBR is down around like a 54 or 55 in these last two games. For the season, he's fine. He's up around, like 75, somewhere around 75 or 76 for the season of a QBR. But it just tells you how poorly he's played of late. And it doesn't help that they don't have a run game. The last time they had a run game is when they showed up, when they hosted Oklahoma there in Tuscaloosa. It's the last time they showed any semblance of a run game. And last couple of times out, but it's weird to see. We could right now sit here and think about over the past 15 years, we could run off 6, 7 great running backs that Bama has had. Including Derrick Henry, going back to him, and then even before him, with guys that are like on the Fox set now. I mean, Ingram, of course, is one that comes to mind as well. Mark Ingram, Heisman caliber running backs, and they can't block, they can't protect their quarterback, and they can't run, and that is a weird place for Alabama to be. Now, if they somehow could protect the quarterback, let's not forget that they have the young receiver, Ryan Williams, who was devastating last season, has fallen off this year, and has a problem with dropping the football. They also have someone named Jerm, I think is his first name, Jerme. Anyway, good receiver. He's a little more dependable. And they got a tight end who might be back for this game that could do some damage. I tell you what, though, in 2:15, I want to remind you, big-time guest coming in to the program, Lance Taylor, who covers Bama, covers all things SEC, and we'll be looking at the CFP through his eyes, because he is a gambling expert, and so that'll kind of help some of us along the way. Scotty, if you'll join me now, and let's do a little Campus Confidential. And boy, Scotty's got one of his famous barbecue hats on. He's ready to go.
Right.
He's a man who enjoys a a good jacket, especially up. Fortunately, they turned some of that heat down. I think they're at the Rogue Studios. I was there recently, and they had that thing up burning about 82 or 83 up there in the tower.
It was too hot. Yeah.
Things have cooled down there a little bit. You seem to be very relaxed today as you get ready, as you prepare for the holidays. Hope you've gotten out and done some shopping. Still a few days left for activities like that, Scotty. Let's do some campus though. What's on your mind? I know portal has been heavy on your mind lately. I saw Baylor lost a running back, but you start this thing anywhere you want to.
Let's start with the hero we did not deserve, but we all needed, Matt. I've got some clips here for you. This, I was reflecting today. I've got an 18-month-old, and at some point, I'm going to have to teach her values and principles and how to stick to those, even when the entire world goes against you. You stick to your principles. Well, we had a great example of that at a local Christmas pageant somewhere in the great state of Tennessee. Listen, the young man is a Georgia fan.
That is Georgia shirt on. Yeah.
He's got the Kirby Smart haircut. He wasn't about to be singing Rocky Top. Well, the story continues as David Pollock, of course, a very good player at Georgia, scored the interview of the year.
Music teacher had us sing a whole bunch of songs.
Okay.
And one of those songs was Rocky Top, sadly. And I'm never going to sing that trash, so.
Why won't you sing Rocky Top?
It's a horrible song.
I'm never going to sing that trash. And Matt, that would have been good enough if that was the end of the story. But oh no, Georgia head football coach Kirby Smart has weighed in. They need to build the kid a statue before welcoming Tennessee back in 2 years. Matt, this holidays, Christmas time, everybody's in a good mood. This kid wouldn't sing Rocky Top, and he's become a hero for many in the South. And I just love it, man. That's the kind of feel-good story we want around the holidays.
That's right. As somebody tweeted, it just means more.
I saw multiple people tweet that. Pollock was one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. David Pollock, as you said, the great Georgia player, lands the exclusive with this young man. He did have his hair really nice and brushed for that Pollock interview. You notice that he kind of had to.
Yeah, his parents probably told him, "All right, you're going to be
okay. You're going to be on
Pollock.
Get
your close up here.
Let's get that hair going the right way there." And he's a funny. He reminded me. He just the way he sounds and looks. It's almost like a kid from like Stranger Things, or for the older crowd, Stand By Me comes to mind, or the Sandlot. Like he just has that look, a little mischievous guy, and he's got his Georgia. First of all, why were those kids at a Christmas program singing Rocky Top?
Well,
it's kind of a weird. It was obviously a holiday deal.
I was speculating. This kid's name and address are not publicly known, and that's probably good. He's obviously a very young kid. But I'm speculating that I bet he lives in Tennessee. It's kind of like
oh yeah, I think that's for sure.
Yeah,
but
like
I'm just saying
we sang some Texas themed. I'm sure that I don't remember, but I'm sure when I was in second grade,
doing the Christmas pageant at China Spring Elementary, I'm sure we sang something about the great state of Texas. That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, but that song is not about that it's kind of like I never liked the Eyes of Texas because it was too closely associated with the University of Texas. People would say, well, that's our state song. I don't care. It's not our state song, by the way. It's like Texas, our Texas.
Texas, our Texas
is really the state song. But people would say, well, that's kind of our state thing. To this day, I cringe when I hear the Eyes of Texas because it reminds me, like after a Baylor loss, watching them out there with their horns up. Like, I don't like that song. The A&M one is a little different because now my daughter goes there, and the Aggie War Hymn was my high school's fight song. And so I'm a little bit betwixt and between on that one. I learned to not like most of those. The worst was like how often they would play the University of Texas fight song though. It's just killer. And then even when SMU used to be really good, I guess they're good again. But She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain was their fight song. And man, the 80s when they were great, I was a little kid, and that the best dressed band in the land would fire that up. You had the going band from Raiderland. You had the best dressed band in the land. You had the show band of the South or the Southwest. That's what they called the University of Texas band. You had the Golden Wave band. I'm trying to think what everybody was called back then. And then the Sooners are just called the Pride, like the Pride. It's the pride of Oklahoma is what they call that band. That's one that much like because when Baylor started to play OU and the OU band would come into Waco, that fight song, nobody plays their fight song more than OU and UT. They just constantly hit it. And then A&M, though, their band, I'm not talking about the War Hymn. There's something else they do. And it's like constant, like after a first down or something, the Aggie band fires that one song up. Scotty, do you know what I'm talking about? It's like,
Matt,
it's like almost like a war type thing. Yeah.
I'm just disappointed that I spent a really good segment here talking about standing on principle and refusing to participate in singing about another team, and you're over here. You somehow spun this into the Aggie Band Love Fest again. I'm telling you, the Matt Mosley show is going to be the Texas A&M Insider show by this time next year. We
had one on yesterday. It really depends on if Texags, what they're willing to pay. What if I started going on Texags? All right, we continue now. We get very serious. Yesterday in this segment, we had all kinds of breaking news. And so, Scotty, when I hear that sound, I get real excited. So even if something just happened in the last 2 hours, if you want to hit the sounder during this segment, I'm fine with it, is what I want to say.
Well, I haven't seen anything in the last 2 hours, but here's
okay, let's extend it to 3 then.
You just want me to hit the sounder.
No, that Baylor one, when did that come out? When did that running back come out?
Oh, yeah, that was during my lunch break. Yeah, Joseph Dodds.
That deserves a sounder. Thank you.
Joseph Dodds is in the portal. You happy?
I'm not. I like old Joseph. And especially this time of year. I don't know. Really, we don't need to do Joseph and Mary jokes, but Joseph Dodds. Joseph Dodds. I do love a good living nativity scene. Does anybody know of one in the Metroplex? I feel like we don't do that as much anymore, but I like to see the people and the animals out there in the elements. And I'm afraid some of those nativity scenes, they actually have some portable heaters now. But if anybody knows of a good nativity scene in the Metroplex, I'd love to drop by. And in fact, I would sit in on your nativity scene. If there's one in Central Texas you know about, and you're like, hey, we need kind of like a backup Joseph, or like a backup, the wise men. As a second grader or first grader, I was one of the three wise men, and we had a "We Three Kings of Orient." I would serve in your nativity scene if anybody's doing that kind of thing anymore. I feel like we don't. I feel like the world's gotten away from nativity scenes, which I think is a real. It's part of why America is broken. It's why we live in this broken world that we live in. Scotty, okay, yes. I like that was a 4-star kid. He's leaving Baylor. We wish him the best. And Joseph Dodds goes off into the night. And Baylor had so many injuries this year that at one point I looked out there and young Joseph Dodds was getting carries. The only thing I would say is if they had played that bowl game, you would have had to play a lot of these kids, and it might have given you more of a chance to hold on to a few, but not enough to justify the money loss and just the soul sucking that would happen. Like, I'm still shocked. My buddy Sam Bradshaw, S11 on Sickle 365, was like so put out by Baylor not playing that bowl game. Like, to me, I just had no interest in seeing a 5-7 Baylor team playing in the bowl game. The only thing that would have been mildly interesting of that game would have been if they started Nate Bennett or Ed Griffin got some play. Like, we could have seen some of these backup quarterbacks. That is the only thing that would have drawn my attention to that game. All right, Scotty, what else do we have in Campus Confidential?
Well, Matt, it's prediction time. College football playoff begins tonight, and I asked you to fill out a bracket, and I would like to share our brackets with the people. And so let's see. Here's the Mosley bracket. Talk us through the Mosley bracket here.
All right. Well, my Aggies are not going to be happy with me here. I just think I don't love OU's offense, and I think OU, while they earned it, it was a bit fluky, their win in Tuscaloosa. I don't love their chance of beating the great Kalen DeBoer twice. So I am taking Bama. I'm taking Oregon because that's pretty obvious. I'm taking A&M to advance over Miami. I think that's an extremely tough place to play no matter what time of day it is. And I think that place will be rocking there at College Station. I'll have family members representing us there. And then Ole Miss, I don't think Tulane's going to give them a game. I do think Georgia gets past Ole Miss, and Georgia has already beaten Ole Miss once. I think Georgia is even better than they were when they beat Ole Miss, and we don't really know what Ole Miss is like without Lane Kiffin. We won't find out against Tulane. We'll find out more against Georgia, and I think some of that might kick in of them not having Lane over there running that thing from a play-calling standpoint. They're going to be using Charlie Weiss Jr. on a borrowed type thing. I don't love that. So give me Georgia, and then even though it's at the Cotton Bowl and the Ags will have that place covered up, give me Ohio State to beat A&M in the Cotton Bowl. And then Tech in Indiana getting together at the I did have Texas Tech overcoming Oregon. But then when Texas Tech faces Indiana, they're just so great on defense. Give me the edge in quarterback there with the Heisman winner Mendoza. And that gives us the matchup that we didn't know we wanted this soon. But the Big Ten, that was a great game. Enjoyed watching it. We'll get to see it again in the national title game. And give me the Buckeyes simply because as much as I love this Indiana team and I love that head coach, I do not see them beating the Buckeyes twice. Buckeyes missed that late field goal, 27-yard field goal that would have tied the game up and given them a chance to maybe get that game into overtime. They didn't get that. I don't see the Buckeyes losing twice to Indiana. So give me the Buckeyes in the national title game. There is the Mosley bracket.
Matt, that's a pretty chalky bracket. It's a pretty chalky bracket there.
I mean, I agree. I agree. I mean, I'm not trying to defend
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
Let me do something that's going to shock you. My bracket looks very similar to yours with a very key difference. Matt, last year, teams with the first round bye went 0-4. I do not believe that will happen again, but I do believe at least one of these teams will lose despite getting the first round bye. It will absolutely not be Indiana. It will absolutely not be Georgia. It could be Texas Tech, but I really like the way that their defense is going to match up against Oregon. Matt, give me Texas A&M to run all the way to the national championship game.
Whoa.
I think that momentum from hosting and beating Miami at Kyle Field carried to Dallas over Ohio State while they're sitting at home could be really significant. Matt, until they lost to Texas, we were talking about A&M being arguably the best team in football, right up there with Indiana and Ohio State. I did not want to do this, but when I looked matchup by matchup, I like their odds to beat Ohio State coming off a home game, and I really like their odds to beat Georgia, who I've never fully bought into, and they've escaped a lot of games close. So give me a very similar bracket to yours, but Indiana will take on A&M and the Natty. And, man, I cannot pick against Curt Cignetti right now. The man is too good. The defense is too good. The quarterback won the Heisman for a reason. Give me Indiana as the national champion, completing the storybook. Make the movie. Make the Curt Cignetti movie. Matt, you could write it. We should acquire the rights to the Curt Cignetti movie.
It's the greatest. It already may be the greatest turnaround, the greatest coaching job in the history of college football. I mean, we talked about it. I thought we brought up some interesting comparisons. I think Bryles was a fair comparison. I think what Rule did was pretty amazing, given after the Bryles scandal. But Chris Peterson at Washington had a really nice run on a team that had been down a little bit. But Cignetti may have trumped all of them in a national title, as you are saying, would totally just be the cherry on top, and that'll be wild. And by the way, A&M, you have A&M getting to the national title game. Do you realize in volleyball Sunday they're playing for a national title in volleyball? Let's give them their due, man. The Ags got it going on a little bit right now. And,
so disappointing.
But man, you say it's disappointing, yet when you look at that, and I see what you're doing there, because you like the fact that from the 20th, being tomorrow, through the 1st of January, these guys never have to leave the state. They can just hang out for 10, 11 days and go win a couple of ball games and then advance to wherever the national title game is. Scotty, where is it, by the way, this year?
Miami, right?
Is that right?
I think it's in Miami.
I'm kind of cringing because I feel like if the Ags make it to the national title game, I'm going to have a daughter that's really, really lobbying
for you to go.
Yeah, for me to go, to take her. Well, I don't know. I mean, like this, I was kind of thinking it'd be fun to go with her to this game tomorrow. And let me tell you, once she was like, no, I'm going with college buddies. And then, oh, by the way, afterwards, we're going to go to Houston and hang out with some of my sorority sisters. You know, Scotty, you'll find this out someday. Like, part of you is just like, it kills you because all you want to do is hang out with your kid during Christmas. But part of you is like so happy that they have made like these awesome friends, all these new friends. And, you know, again, I'm not, you know, it's neat to see them kind of, because we all have like these unbelievable friends from college. And then when you see your kid making and starting to make those relationships that'll probably last forever. That's a neat deal. So today, there I was getting her oil changed, handing her $100. I don't know how far that'll get her, and doing all the things dads do to send her out of town for to go watch the Ags tomorrow. And I said, "Are you going to do college game day?" I mean, Scotty, like, you know, the same thing you would have been doing when you were a college student, Scotty.
Yep.
You know, I have pictures of you at these things.
Yep.
And she was just like, "No, it's just," I forget what she said. It's like takes too much. There's like too much planning you have to do to get out. So they're going to go down today. I think to get to the set and to have a good spot, as you well know, Scotty, you'd have to get up at by 5:30 or 6 in the morning, right? To get out there and get a good spot for college game day. And I don't think they want it that bad. I think the Pike or the Fiji pregame tailgate over there in Historic across the street from Kyle Field has more interest, bears more interest than being over there at college game day. But maybe she'll swing by and check out all of those things. Scotty, did you have anything else for Campus Confidential? I know we got a big guest coming up in a moment.
I'm good.
Man, I love that breaking news sounder. Joseph Dodds. It sounds like... The last name Dodd, Scotty, makes me think of this story. It was the last game at the Case, and Mac Brown was kind of coaching for his job. In fact, he was. If Texas had have won that day, they would have won the conference title. And so they're playing Baylor for the de facto conference championship game. We're getting ready to shut down. And I happened to get on, the Dodd's name made me think of this. I happened to get on the elevator with University of Texas athletic director DeLoss Dodds, and he was getting ready to retire. And it's about 15 people on this elevator. And somebody from University of Texas says, DeLoss, is Mac going to come back next year? This is halftime of the game. Baylor's clinging to about a 3-point lead, I think, at this point. And we're in the elevator, and I'm going to visit somebody. Maybe I'm leaving the press box to go down and say hi to somebody at halftime. And DeLoss Dodds just says, in front of like 12 of us, he goes, "Not my problem anymore." Or not, he said, that's not my decision anymore. And he was in the process of handing over the reins. And so that I was able to tweet that out, and that was met with a lot of people heard that and knew the end was near for Mac Brown as the head coach. And days later, at a banquet that they were having, Mac Brown, it became clear that Mac Brown would no longer be the head coach at the University of Texas. And I'll never forget that, Scotty. One of my buddies in the newspaper business, who should have known better, he's older than I am, put in his column the next day, he quoted my tweet, and he just attributed it to Twitter. He said, "according to Twitter," and he did not credit me. Not good etiquette. But I think his excuse was he was old and didn't understand Twitter. It is the, which is not a good excuse. It is the, but he's a friend. You know, I've forgiven him, but although it still does pop into my head every once in a while. It's the Mosley Show. Major guest coming on in just a matter of minutes. Let's take a break, and then we'll be back with Lance Taylor from another round.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform.
At your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back.
When it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. But with the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud.
Here's a tip. Don't buy from social media ads unless the ad is from a verified company. When you click those ads, you open yourself up to fraud. If it seems too good to be true, it almost always is.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
Bubble wasn't here. I don't know what people would be doing, like making PowerPoints or something. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
At Covers and All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. We deliver premier protection at affordable prices and express shipping. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
Better sleep, inspired by nature. Your back, hips, and shoulders will fall into perfect alignment in any position, meaning that you get deeper, more comfortable rest. Visit ecoterrabeds.com.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
Is your Mac running slow? Mac Booster 8 is your all-in-one solution to clean up 20 types of junk files. Get your Mac running like new again with Mac Booster 8. Visit macboost.net today.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys, just connect it to your smartphone. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
At Mapiful, we believe in celebrating your journey. Our unique personalized products are designed to boost your confidence. From custom home decor to meaningful gifts, we help you cherish the memories that make you who you are. Visit mapiful.com and start celebrating your story today.
All right. We will have Lance Taylor coming to us from Birmingham any moment. He'll drop by. You never know. You never know with Lance, with everything going on in their world. Today they were doing their show, the next round, and they had Jim Dunaway, who's a college basketball expert, but he was on the man on the ground in they're in Norman, and so they got one man live on the scene, and then I'm telling you, man, this if you are into the betting game, what Lance does on his site, and I just earlier today I kind of got him at the last minute, and I was just like, we got to talk to Lance today. But he does lanceslock.com. That's LANCESLOCK.com. And for a decent amount, I mean, it's like not that much. You get like incredible picks and information, and it's kind of become one of the big ones. And then the next round, the show he's on with two other guys, man, that's a really fun show. And in fact, just about last week, they had a full interview with the new Auburn head coach, Alex Golish. Scotty, I'll ask you this, and we'll keep looking for Lance when he joins us. I like that. I like that graphic up there. Lance's Lock. My gosh, he better show up if we're going to give him a nice graphic. One thing, Scotty, that I wanted to do was we needed to do a Schmaltz's trivia today. And we usually like to do it on Thursdays. We're going to do it on Friday. And, I'm kind of, there's different. I'm going to make this one pretty easy. I'm going to make this pretty easy. A&M is now starting tomorrow. They will lock in on their journey to try to win a national title. And they'll play Miami, and Miami's stacked on defense. They got a great defensive line. Miami does not have that many explosive plays. They do have a really good young wide receiver. That guy's awesome. But it takes him a lot of plays to get the ball down the field. And quite honestly, that gives Carson Beck too many plays to make a possible mistake. In fact, he and the A&M quarterback are tied for the most interceptions of quarterbacks in the CFP at 10. All right, talking about Marcel Reed, the A&M quarterback. So we will we'll kind of keep our eye on that. My trivia question for you guys, our Schmaltz's trivia question, and you can text in on the if you'll just follow us on YouTube. Some of you are following us on Twitter right now. You'll get 2 free sandwiches at Schmaltz's if you'll just go and answer on the comments. And actually, Scotty has a whole graphic where he tells you how to collect your winnings, how to collect your 2 free sandwiches. We'll throw that up there here in a little bit. As Texas A&M embarks on this journey to possibly win a national title, my question to you is, when was their last one? When did they last win the national title? When was A&M, Texas A&M's, and I know some teams claim different things, but a true national football title, and I'll give you a hint, it was a long, long time ago. And I would say when it comes to conference championships, A&M plays a little fast and loose, and they'll list quite a few. But as far as a national title, Texas A&M football, what year was it? And I'll just say, man, it would have been at a time when my great uncles, I'm trying to think, yeah, maybe my great uncles were at A&M or getting ready to go. In fact, no, they were a little bit after that, but had some great uncles who were in the Corps and attended A&M together. Don Cook and then Wesley, Don Cook Hendricks and then Wesley Hendricks both attended A&M back in the day. So if you get this one right, let's see here. Are people guessing? Oh, look at there. Bobby coming in hot. See, Bobby, that's how you do it. You get on that on the YouTube, and that is extremely helpful. All right, nice. Okay, and Bobby, we're going to give you the win. Email Scotty to arrange the pickup of your Schmaltz's coupons. We'll give you 2 free sandwiches to Schmaltz's, and you can do that by email Scotty at scotty@roguemedianetwork.com. scotty@roguemedianetwork.com. All right. Way to go, Bobby. Way to play, man. All right. Well, Lance will show up. I promise you he will, but I might have misread that. He said between 2:15 and 2:30. I guess he may have been giving himself a little loose time frame there. So at some point we'll get him back. I did want to talk about these games. And it's something I was going to bounce off him. OU and Alabama get it on tonight at 7:00 on ABC. And the first 10 games this year against FBS teams, Ty Simpson had an 80.6 total QBR, 67% completion rate, 7.4 yards per dropback. All right. And an 81.1% catchable pass rate. Pretty good. Pretty strong. Those numbers will hunt. His last 2 games, this is the quarterback at Alabama, 55.1 total QBR, 51% completion rate, 3.7 yards per dropback. And that's a 70.3% catchable pass rate. All those numbers have come way down. Some people have said he could be banged up, but he's out there. And when you're out there, the expectation is you play to your best, and he has not done so. The Sooners, here's where it gets a little scary for Bama. The Sooners rank second nationally in success rate allowed, third in stuff rate. These are defensive metrics, and third in sack rate. Fourth in the country in 3-and-out rate, and fifth in red zone TD rate allowed. Whoa, that's pretty good defense. Remember, Oklahoma won this game with special teams and with a block kick, a big punt return, and a pick six for 89 yards in Tuscaloosa. All right, so the defense and special teams had to do a lot of the heavy lifting. It was not particularly great game for the defense. In fact, Alabama held the Oklahoma offense to just over 200 yards. Alabama in that game actually ran the ball and had over 400 yards, and I believe Ty Simpson threw for around 300 yards in that game. Now, defensive ends, Taylor Wine, Wein, and R. Mason Thomas for Oklahoma have a combined 22.5 TFLs, tackles for loss, and 12.5 sacks, despite Thomas missing 3 games with injury. He is going to be back. We talked about Eli Bowen is the cornerback who had that 89-yard pick six to help take down Oklahoma and Tuscaloosa. I don't think he understands, Scotty. I'm sorry. He thinks he's calling us. He said he tried to call and there's no link. So try to send him, Scotty, that link one more time if you would. I'm going to make sure it's the right link that we sent. Yeah, just send him the link one more time, Scotty, because I think we've had this problem before with Lance. Here we go. I'm going to send him. It's the email, Scotty, that I sent to you earlier. Okay, I'm going to test with him.
I'm here.
Yes. Good. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
I like this. This reminds me of y'all talking to Orlovsky the other day.
Yeah, sorry. We've got this charity event for Folds of Honor. I don't know if you're aware of that organization, but we're meeting these 3 girls that we're doing this shopping spree for at 3:00. So I was in the car. I meant to tell you I was going to be in the car. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. And Folds of Honor is something I think the Cowboys have been involved with, and so we're very familiar. In fact, there's some huge museum that's gone up in the Metroplex but Folds of Honor, very familiar. So that's a great thing. If you could see right now, Lance, you would see that we have a huge Lance's Lock graphic up. All right. On screen, and so that's good. I want you to continue to focus on the road. I would also like that cap you have has something under the bill. Are you choosing not to remove the tag from that cap, or is that supposed to look like that?
Yeah. These are the new era.
Okay.
It's a very clean hat look. I've got a few of these Rams. This is a USC one, but it's the color code. It's a little rubber logo, and it doesn't come off. It's part of, like, this one has got the scarlet, the gold, and the white, and the Rams has got the blue and the yellow and the white. So that's just part of it. But I appreciate how observant you are.
Yeah, well, that's what I do. Longtime award-winning reporter that I am. All right, how are you recovering from last night's Thursday night game? That was we were out for a holiday meal, and I was trying to check that throughout the game, but boy, strange happenings. And for people that don't know, Lance is a big Rams fan and has been pretty much your whole life, right? Is that a lifelong love affair? Yeah.
This is going to date myself, but I started liking the Rams in 1979, and I'll never forget Pat Hayden broke a thumb and went out, and Vince Ferragamo from Nebraska fame took over that Rams team that was 9-7 at the end of the year, and went on and played in the NFC Championship and beat Tampa 9-0 and went to Super Bowl 14. And that was my first taste of the Rams. And I've just I don't have a hobby. I don't play golf like you. My hobby is the Rams. It is like my third child, and I care way too much. And last night, I liked Seattle going into that game. And here's the funny thing, speaking of Lance's lock, I gave all my subscribers Seattle -1.5. So, like, the only terrible outcome is Seattle to win by 1. And what do? They win by 1. But for the Rams to go 500-plus yards of offense, to be +3 in turnovers, for Seattle to convert 3 consecutive 2-point conversions, I mean, I just – everything that could have gone wrong, it was a colossal disaster. And in that crowded NFC, as you know, it's going to be really difficult to go on the road as a team, a wild card team, and be able to win the NFC. But we'll see what happens. And I do think the Rams are far and away the best team in football, but it's just that's a gauntlet.
Well, now the 49ers have a path to that number 1 seed. So, yeah, did Ferragamo and them run into the Steelers in that Super Bowl? I'm just trying to think.
They did,
okay.
yeah. 34-19, they lost that one, and that freaking Steeler team, you remember that. I mean, you and I are right around the same age. That was a tall mountain to climb, man. They were one of the first dynasties, right?
Yeah, and honestly, I think the hard part for Cowboy fans, like the way I grew up, is that could have been a Cowboys dynasty in that decade, but the Steelers, they kept running into the Steelers, and that to this day, if you want to make Roger mad, bring up one of those losses to the Steelers. I mean, it still bugs him like crazy. That to this very day. All right, so how did you think Dunaway did? Jim Dunaway, a very well-respected member of the Next Round, your show that comes out of Birmingham, Alabama. You all sent him to represent you in Norman. I saw him doing some kind of man on the street type stuff, and he was kind of getting out. Then he was giving a weather report. I halfway expected him to show up in like Porter Mosier's office and kind of check on Oklahoma basketball. How do you feel like he's doing representing you guys there in Norman?
Better than me, because I didn't want to go, Mosley. We had a sponsorship and somebody had to go. So short straw Dunaway. He loves doing that kind of stuff. I will fall on the sword if Alabama is able to beat Oklahoma tonight, and I will go to Rose Bowl for Indiana, Alabama. But I had zero desire to go to this game, as I don't think a lot of Alabama fans had any desire to go to this game. Sadly, talking to Alabama fans, we actually had a couple of extra tickets, and I was literally trying to give them away, Mosley. And Southwest did a bunch of new direct flights to make it, pretty affordable and pretty easy direct flights from Birmingham to Oklahoma City, which is only 20-25 minutes away from the Norman campus. And nobody wanted the tickets. So I've heard the allotment for Alabama tickets was as low as 200 to 2,000. And I know a handful of people that are going to the game, but we appreciate, Dunaway being such a team player and going out there and covering this game. But man, I am for a first round of a playoff game between these two big brands. I'm a little surprised there's not a ton of buzz with this game. I do think the winner, there will be buzz going to play the number 1 seed and the Heisman Trophy winner and Fernando Mendoza and playing in the Rose Bowl and all that kind of stuff. But this game just right now on this Friday doesn't seem to have a lot of buzz. I'm super excited about it, but I don't know a lot of Alabama fans that are overly optimistic that this team can make a big run.
This national thing that has gotten out there about DeBoer, like if Alabama loses, somehow that would perhaps free him up. Not that Alabama's going to fire him, although I'm sure some of the fans would love to. But that would make it more likely that he would then go take that Michigan job. You guys have actually been around him, have interviewed him, gotten to know him a little bit. Does any of that resonate with you, or does that seem like a long shot? Obviously, it's not a long shot that Oklahoma could win this game and Alabama would end up with 4 losses. How do you see that playing out? And do you, in your mind, is DeBoer still in the middle of this Michigan thing?
I think he is by this, Mosley. There is a contract, from what I hear, on his desk in Tuscaloosa that is yet to be signed. So I would assume, and not that he deserves a raise. I mean, by Alabama standards, 10-3 playing for the SEC championship. That's nice. But fact of the matter is Alabama, he was 9-4 last year, missing a college football playoff. 10-3 right now as we sit. Saban never had back-to-back 3+ loss seasons. I mean, the last time he ever lost more than 3 games was year 1. So Alabama fans aren't used to this. I still fully believe that Kalen DeBoer is one of the top 3, 4, 5 coaches in college football. You just look at his record. Not only is he 7-2 against ranked teams, this is a guy that had Washington playing for a national championship 2 calendar seasons ago. It's been a little rocky, and I think more of the frustration for Alabama fans has been, Kalen DeBoer, we were sold this is this great coach, and this offense is going to be incredible. Well, the problem last year, everybody blamed it on Jalen Milroe. Schizophrenic quarterback. It was quite the experience with Jalen Milroe, the ups and downs. But now you're getting it, and there's not Jalen Milroe to blame. So, why is this offense all of a sudden in back-to-back games gone less than 300 yards against both Auburn and Georgia in the SEC championship? And by the way, it's the first time an Alabama offense has gone sub 300 yards in back-to-back games since back to Nick Saban's first year in 2007. So this is just uncharted territory. I think a lot of this is this fan base has been spoiled. But look, from what I hear, that contract is still there. It hasn't been signed. I doubt he leaves, but I think it would be more digestible on both sides if he was to drop 4 games in back-to-back seasons. It's going to be a long winter for Kalen DeBoer if he does lose his game tonight. Again, I think he's an outstanding coach still. It hasn't been the A+ product that Alabama fans are used to, but hell, who are you going to get at this point? I think DeBoer is by far the best option. I think it's in play. I would give it a 1% chance. I fully expect him to be back next year, but I mean, there's obviously been some sort of conversation.
I have this vague memory of you kind of liking Oklahoma at the start of this season. And so you may have seen something a lot of people didn't see. That was a huge win, obviously, in Tuscaloosa. The people that would knock Oklahoma would say, well, it was a blocked field goal and it was a pick 6 and there were big punt return, there were takeaways. There was a lot of stuff that had to happen for OU to pull off that upset. That said, now it's in Norman. How are you feeling as we get closer to kickoff about this one? Is this a hard one from a gambling perspective? And again, I want people to go pay for this service, so not asking you to give anything away, but is this a hard one to get a read on? I mean, sometimes when you know a team like Alabama, you probably feel like you almost know the team too well in a sense. How are you feeling as you get closer to this one?
It is a very difficult game, to answer your question. Back to me liking Oklahoma, I did, but full disclosure, I thought John Mateer would be a bigger factor in the SEC. I thought he would, not necessarily Cam Ward to Miami last year, but I thought Mateer was going to be really good. And I thought Jade Knott transferring in from California was going to be really good. And I thought they would have a dominant defense. So I got one of the 3 right. The defense has been dominant. I did have them slipping in to the college football playoff as the 5th SEC team, but I thought that they would be better, a little more fluid than they are right now. With all of that said, Alabama back on November 15th when they lost 23-21 at Tuscaloosa, they were the better team, Mosley. They were, but they turned it over 3 times. And, when you turn it over 3 times and you're -3 in turnovers against a defense that's dominant, you're going to have issues. And, they've got maybe the best kicker in all of football in Tate Sandell, and they've got, great special teams and a great defense. And, Alabama has got a really good defense, what has become kind of an average offense and terrible special teams. So this is, I went through 5 categories. I gave Alabama the offensive edge, Oklahoma the defensive edge, Oklahoma special teams, and then I gave Alabama coaching with Kalen DeBoer and quarterback with Ty Simpson the advantages. But Oklahoma's at home, so they've got home field. This literally is, and the Vegas number shows it. It opened Alabama 1.5, and it's gone to Oklahoma right now 1.5. So it really is virtually a coin flip game. But yeah, it's a very difficult game to handicap. It should be a one possession game. And for whatever reason, Oklahoma's kind of become we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Georgia's kryptonite and Kirby Smart's kryptonite was always Alabama until they got over that hump in the SEC championship game, dominating Alabama. Alabama's kryptonite the last couple of years has been Brent Venables. Brent Venables 3-3 against top 10 teams, 2 of the 3 wins against Alabama in the last year, 28-3 last year in Norman, and earlier this year, 23-21 in Tuscaloosa. But for whatever reason, Alabama they just haven't played well offensively against this Oklahoma team. And I do think a lot has to do that Oklahoma's got a dominant defense, but I don't know. It's just been really, really strange how bad they've been against Oklahoma.
All right, last one, and I want you to get you to your event. And man, by the way, I was listening to another gambling expert today, and I've known him for years because he used to be in the Metroplex. His name's like Amal Shah or something like that. He was like with VSIN or something, and he did a fine job. But it's just not quite the LT level. It's a lot of all the numbers and all this stuff. He doesn't bring the humor and all the other things that you bring to the table. But anyway, as I was listening to him, I'm like, my gosh, the full ride with Neuheisel and Childers, they need to have LT on, is kind of what I was thinking.
Hey, I'm willing, Mosley. I will travel. I appreciate it. I think a lot of it is my experience. I was full admission, I was a bookie for about a decade in Tuscaloosa and then into Birmingham. And then when I really got settled into this career, I'll never forget, I was interviewing John Calipari, and I was thinking to myself, this is a good side hustle that I've got going, but this is when gambling was very taboo in the early 2000s to mid 2000s. And I was like, it's probably gonna be a bad reflection if I ever get busted and I've got this other job where I'm interviewing these college coaches. So at that point, I made a career decision. I honestly wish I would have kept my side hustle going, but I've just been immersed in gambling for all of my life, and it's something I really enjoy, and I love giving out picks. And it's been a hell of a year too. We had a bad night last night because we had the Seahawks minus 1.5, but we were 9-0 last week in football. We were 7-0 in the NFL. We've had our best season by far ever in the NFL, so we've been killing it. And for anybody out there that, I know a lot of guys embellish and they spin it and they have their own angles and stuff. I mean, we're very transparent. Everything is up and available every day on the website. It's only $100 a month. You buy a daily package, you get a free play every day at lanceslock.com. So, we enjoy it. We like doing it. I care about winning, and that's where we are.
All right, and last one I had for you, the Ags hosting the U. Miami goes in there. Which of these quarterbacks do you trust the most? Or because right now, Marcel did not look great against Texas. Carson Beck has not been the most trustworthy guy. Both these guys went from possibly being in the Heisman conversation to not finishing in the top 10 of the Heisman. Do you like the Ags because of that home field advantage? Where obviously they're really, really tough to beat at Kyle Field. How are you feeling about that one?
It's a tough game as well, and I do have a side already. It's not up and available yet, but I'm pretty decided on which way I'm going to go here. I would say this, I do think these rosters are very even talent-wise. I give the quarterback advantage to Carson Beck just because of the experience. He's going to be making his 40th start tomorrow in College Station. Atmosphere will not be too big. This is a guy that started in an SEC championship game, and he's played in a lot of SEC stadiums around the country. And this is also a guy that's 13-3 against ranked teams. So, look, he completely crapped the bed against Louisville earlier this year. I do think Miami's got the best overall player on the field in Malachi Toney, the true freshman wide receiver that can absolutely do everything. But, Mike Elko, to me, is a much better coach than Mario Cristobal. And as you mentioned, A&M's got home field advantage. So, again, there's you start to stack this thing up. It's a very even matchup, and one of the reasons the number has dropped to Texas A&M 3, and there's a lot of sharp money right now on the Miami Hurricanes. But, man, trusting Mario Cristobal on the road against an SEC team that was 11-1 in the regular season, man, that's a lot.
That's a lot to ask. It really is. Well, hey, thank you for hopping on with me, and man, have a great rest of the weekend. And it'll be a different Sunday for you with the Rams already out of the way. Maybe you can just kind of sit back and enjoy some stuff without feeling the angst, the anxiety that takes over. And we will, man, just give Dunaway and Ryan, give them all my best, and just know Stephen Pearl continues. I love some of the early moves he's making there at Auburn. So I got my eye on that program.
Yeah, I will see if we can get Dunaway out of Porter Moser's office, and we can see if we can get him in football mode at least for tonight, out of basketball mode. And this weekend, my big game now, Monday night, I need old man Phillip Rivers to pull a upset off against San Francisco to kind of throw things back in the favor of the Rams. So we'll see what happens there, Mosley. But hey, happy holidays, man. You are always awesome to get up with, and always appreciate you giving me your platform to jump on.
Hey, when you said the word schizophrenia, I just thought you would like this story. One time I was with Charles Haley, and I was doing an interview, and we were talking about mental health. It is kind of weird that I thought of Charles Haley immediately, but he couldn't think of whatever condition he was trying to come up with, and me trying to be helpful. It was at the Super Bowl. I said schizophrenia, and he did not. He threatened to come across the table and take care of me in that moment.
I think you were right, though. Hey, I'll tell you my funny mental health moment, because look, I've struggled with it. I struggled with it in 21, man. It popped up out of nowhere. So there is a soft spot in my heart for this. And so, I have done some mental health podcasts, and I've had a lot of people reach out to me just personally through direct messages that have struggled. And, you don't realize how many people are struggling with that stuff. But I had this guy reach out a couple of years ago. This crazy story. I host this trivia at this local bar every Wednesday night, and he came to see me up there, and he said, "Hey, man, I heard you talking about your situation. The night before you were talking about it, I had put a Glock 9mm in my mouth, and it misfired." And he said, then I woke up the next day and I heard you talking about it, and that's why I reached out to you. So I've kept in contact with this guy, but he sent me a text this morning. Yeah, he's such a sweet guy, but he's just one of those guys that, man, it's bad luck follows him. But he sent me a text this morning and said, "Man, I totaled my car. I just got a new job, but I totaled my car last night." And I said, "Well, the first thing, are you okay?" "Yeah." "Was it your fault?" And he said, "Well, I hit a parked car, so I guess it was."
Man. Well, good for you. That's awesome, though, that you still keep up with people and that you could help folks with that. I mean, I would suggest that maybe hold off on the Bama and Bourbon 8 a.m. sessions. I don't know if that's what mental health professionals would advocate, but anyway.
No.
But all right. Hey, LT, be good. Great to see you.
Hey, you too, Mosley. See you, buddy.
All right, there he goes. Lance Taylor on the Mosley show, joining us, and always good to be with him. And he was trying to get over to a Folds of Honor. Man, what a story he told there about trying to help a guy that was going through some things. And wow, too many times we hear of these horrible tragedies like what happened with the Dallas Cowboys. So it's kind of nice to hear about a time when, whatever reason, it didn't work, and somebody hopefully was able to go on with their lives, and that's really nice for Lance to be able to talk about that. I mean, the truth is, I've been friends with him for years, and that's the first I've ever heard of anything like that. So interesting deal. Okay, let's take one quick break, and then we got our predictions for tonight, and we'll get you ready for the weekend. We'll do that next.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety,
so you can perform
at your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
It's the Wrap Up the Year sales event at Allen Samuels in Waco. Drive home a new Ram 1500 Lone Star with 0% for 72 months or 3.9 for 72 months. Plus 10% below MSRP and get 2,000 holiday select inventory cash. Need more power? Check out the selection of new Ram 2500s, all backed by our 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain warranty and no payments for 90 days. Hurry to Allen Samuels in Waco.
Come by. Let's be friends.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Welcome to Market XLS, your all-in-one Excel solution for investors. Designed as an enterprise-grade platform, Market XLS caters to investment managers, secure and efficient investment management and research. Book your free demo.
Experience with the Mosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
MosleyMD.com.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
Unlock a world of convenience with Mullybox, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more.
Oh, it is Matt Mosley, the Matt Mosley Show, and we're getting you ready for the CFP. We are now, let's see, about 4 hours away from kickoff, Oklahoma. I thought that was interesting, Scotty. Scotty joined me for the end of the show here. And this is, of course, what we call the landing, the Brazos Landing. We get way excited about what the Brazos Landing has put out there, and we're going to be doing even more with the Brazos Landing. We're going to do some pre-game basketball. Scotty really set up a beautiful show the other day. That was fun. The Bourbon Street Bar, or the Bourbon.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a neat little area of, and then that outdoor bar today. Scotty, it's probably a little, I don't know if it's windy at all, but it's probably a little warmer today if you wanted to run by there and check on them. Scotty's got kind of in soccer mode there with his FC Dallas. Scotty, on a sad note, about an hour ago, John Sumrall, the new head football coach at Florida, who'll be coaching Tulane this evening, tweeted out that he lost his dad last night. And tough deal there, and you can imagine how tough that will be to coach during that. But did say that his father got to be with him at the Tulane the championship game recently, and then at that first news conference at Florida, his dad got to be there in Gainesville for that. And then he sadly passed away, I believe last night is the way this looks. So anyway, prayers go out to the Sumrall family. I would say, Scotty, that guy's handled a departure about as well as it can be handled. It's never fun when you lose a head coach, but when one stays around, then donates to the NIL, he has made a promise. He followed through. He donated $100,000 to the NIL at Tulane. He was at Troy, I believe, before that. But Tulane, you got to hand it to them. They've hired two great coaches. They got Fritz in there. He built the foundation. I think Sumrall made them even better. and now they have a chance to be in the college football playoff. And I heard, Scotty, that their fans, even with losing their coach and hiring a new coach, were so excited that like the NIL donations that have come in, even in the past 48 hours, are pretty stunning. And that they've had like 1.6 million come in from just random, not like, oh, some big booster gave a bunch of money. It's just fans across the country that are excited about Tulane athletics.
Now they just got to hire the right head coach. And to my knowledge, there's an old Cajun who's won a national championship who is still unemployed.
Oh, well, now but Tulane did go ahead and hire a head coach.
Oh, I missed that.
Okay. There's a lot of that going, happening, but they brought somebody else in, and I think they kind of tried to get someone from Sumrall staff. Yeah.
There go my dreams of Coach O coaching at Tulane.
Coach O needs to go back and be someone's D-line or defensive coordinator, and I think that would be great. I think the players Baylor needs to be taking a long look. Are these players coming out of places like Tulane, like extremely productive players? And I'm sure somebody will go, Matt, this other Tulane guy wasn't that productive. I get it. But, A&M's best player, Scotty, on defense, and they've got really good defensive players, but their pass rusher, Cassius Howell, 2 years ago came from Bowling Green. He was good in the MAC. He was not heavily recruited coming out of Kansas City, I believe is where he grew up and is where he's from, and ends up at A&M, and he is the best pass rusher in the country. I just noticed that Pete Nakos from On3 said that North Texas linebacker Ethan Weslowski is expected to evaluate his future following the New Mexico Bowl game, with the transfer portal a strong possibility. 6'1", 235-pound linebacker, 3-year starter, 103 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 interception this season. All right. I mean, what Joey McGuire told us is what Baylor has to do. Production. You do not try to bring in kids based on what you think they might be, or they were a 4-star or 5-star. Hey, I don't care if they were either one of those things. If they're coming from a place where they didn't get on the field and when they were a backup, I think you go a different direction. That's why these group of 5 programs are much more interesting to me, because a lot of these guys have been hugely productive. And I don't even care if you take JUCO. Like, I think those kids can be very productive. But don't these 4-star. This guy was a 4-star 3 years ago. 2 years ago, he was a 5-star. Man, if they haven't been productive. And I would put DJ Lagway in a group who has been productive. He hasn't maybe lived up to expectations, but maybe expectations were completely out of whack. The bottom line is, I would say with DJ Lagway, something to remember. He was probably the biggest recruit of the Billy Napier era, and Billy Napier got fired. That's not totally DJ Lagway's fault. I'm just saying Napier sort of tied himself to Lagway, and it didn't work out. Now, he also tied himself to other recruits, and they recruited well, but for whatever reason, it did not translate into victories, and now John Sumrall takes over out there. I think that's going to be fascinating to watch between like Eric Morris, Golish, Sumrall, all these AAC coaches. Like, who's going to be the standout of that group? And I think you'd say, well, wait, who's going to have the most NIL money? Who's got the best support? I would say the guy, I kind of like that Golish guy. I really do, that went to Auburn. I think he should have a chance to succeed, but who knows? It is national title or bust at Auburn. and it's just nothing in the middle. There's nobody that Freeze kind of just zeroed out. Harsin was a horrible hire. It's just they have really had a hard time getting it right. Same at Arkansas. Same at Florida. I mean, and now we'll see what Oklahoma State can do with Eric Morris. Who would Baylor have hired? I think it's a fair question. I think Eric Morris was going to be the most obvious person to turn to because he's an offensive guy, and I think that would have been a route Mac would have gone. Unfortunately, Mac got fired or resigned, and we'll never know what Mac might have done. But I think Eric Morris. Would Baylor have had a better chance than Oklahoma State at Eric Morris? They might have had an advantage because Mac did have a relationship with Eric Morris, and there's some great relationships between the two schools, talking about UNT and Baylor. A lot of people have come and gone, and they have great relationships between them. All right. Thank you for everybody who continues to watch this show. It's been awesome recently. The numbers have been, the whole Baylor thing was big. We'll continue to try to have big name Baylor guests. We were so busy this week, I did not get around to having Coach Drew on. We'll change that next week, and we'll get back on a good rhythm with the head basketball coach at Baylor, Scott Drew, and then also Nikki Collin. All right, Scotty, great work by you. I guess, golly, what is the 22nd? We'll work. I think we'll try to work the 23rd, and then we'll be off Christmas Eve and Christmas for sure. And we'll just kind of play it by ear from there. All right. Thanks to everybody who has been a part of the Mosley Show. And thanks to Rogue Media Network. Thank you to Brazos Landing. Thank you, CNB. And thank you, Ascension Providence, for everything that you do. We will see you guys on Monday at 1:00.